What up, faithful? Welcome to another edition of the Stay Faithful podcast on a Monday night. Joining me as usual is my partner in crime, my buddy David McNiner. David, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, it's the off season.
That's right.
The one defensive end I was kind of on the fence about wanting got signed by the Eagles.
Is he the only defensive end you wanted this offseason?
Well, there was one or two that I was looking at, but the chances of getting them are slim anyway.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's like Aziz is it Elojo? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Something like that. I don't even know.
And, I got looking into him like, all right, this guy I kind of wanted. Let me look at him. And he's played 29 games in the last 3 seasons. So 29 out of the last 51 games. So that's
lovely.
It's kind of like 6-7 games we can count on him not being around. So maybe we didn't head that direction for a reason.
Well, based on how this offseason has went, these are the players that we're staying away from, right?
Yes.
The players that aren't available all the time. They clearly sent a message. They want guys who will be there on the field, available, not in street clothes, not in practice shirts, right? Not in team merch, a uniform. So if you're missing games like that, yeah, big chance they weren't going to sign you. 49ers were not going to sign them.
I mean, there's really not much you can, we can do about anything. I mean, we're just guys, We're not front office folks. We're just for the faithful.
We're just for the faithful. That's all.
All I have is these things right here and this thing in here, and it tells me, it tells me what it tells me. So
yep, exactly. I mean, we can read the tea leaves and kind of orchestrate some ideas about things, but we don't really know. Well, we have a good idea. We got the pulse of the team, I like to feel we got the pulse. We know a little something about a little something.
That's true.
But you and I were having a conversation in the chat on the old Twitter. And it got me thinking about the offensive line. And is that the biggest concern this offseason? As we stand here today on March 17th, would you say O-line is the biggest concern?
I think it's been the biggest concern for, us faithful for a couple seasons at this point. Everyone, dogs on McKivitz. Yeah, he's average. He has problems with speed rushers.
Yep.
There you go.
There's one Achilles heel. Yeah.
Pooney came in. He looks good. Pooney looks good. Jake Brindle just regressed last year. I mean, he went from average to bad.
Below. I was trying to be nice and say below average. You beat me to it.
I mean, Aaron Banks, he was pretty much, he was there, but he was also playing hurt all year. So he didn't necessarily ascend, but still got that big contract. Shout out to Green Bay. We're going to be getting a 3rd round pick for that one, more than likely.
Thanks, Green Bay.
In 2026.
Right.
But at this point, I think center is more of a concern than any other position that we have because left guard is going to be a competition, barring we somehow Mimbo drops to us and they draft him. Those are the 2 things that need to happen for us to get him. I honestly don't think he's going to drop to us. I think his athletic abilities and what he showed.
He ran too fast at the combine.
I mean, his 10-yard split and then his shuttle and I mean his vertical jump, all his athleticism he showed, he might not. I don't think he's going to make it to us at 11. But center or center, David. That's. I'll tell you what. Now, But at this point, we're sitting there at 11. Or is one of the top 3 offensive tackles in the draft going to fall to us? I don't know, right?
You never know.
That's
Stranger things have
exactly it.
happened. We never know what these guys in the 10 spots in front of us may or may not do.
Hey, you do know that they did have an interview with Mimbo, and they asked him, "Would you be willing to play guard?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Well, that's the MO for most teams, right? When they got a guy and he's too good to just sit, they want him on the field to just get reps, to get the speed of the game under their belt. So they'll take a tackle and move him to guard for his first year or two. And then when the incumbent finally leaves for whatever reason, then they'll move him back out to tackle.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of that in the past. That seems to be what teams do. And it does help. It does get those guys, acclimated to the speed of the game, the strength. They know what to work on so that when they do move outside, they're fully prepared.
Yes.
So
and I
wouldn't be bad.
If by some miracle, we end up with Mimbo, and I think it's going to be a miracle at this point. I wouldn't be surprised to see him at left guard. A lot of folks are like, no, just plug him in at tackle and McKivitt. It's like, I don't think that's his spot because he's been on the left side.
Yeah.
So I think he'll plug in at left guard and, eventually be the heir apparent to Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've seen me take a guy from the left side and throw him on the right side experiment already. We've seen that with Spencer Burford, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really work well.
No,
it was good enough, but it wasn't at the level we needed to be. Good enough just isn't getting it done anymore.
Burford's had some snaps at, tackle, and
he did play a tackle and left guard. He played at left tackle and left guard last season due to injury.
He really
looked right at home.
He did.
He looked right at home. He was very comfortable out there. So it shows you, right? Some of these guys, they need to play in the position like they've been playing all through college and maybe high school and stuff. It makes a difference.
And this is true. He was left guard and then switched to left tackle.
Yep. There's some guys like Pooney that are rare though. They're just football players. It doesn't matter where you put them. They know how to play. They know how to move, right? There are those guys that, we used to hear about players all the time that they played center, they played right guard, left guard, tackle. You can move them all over, and it didn't matter.
And that's kind of what we do with the offensive line, though.
Hey,
right?
Jess.
Good evening. We'll draft like Spencer Burford was a tackle in college. Nick Zakelj, what position did he play? A lot of people are like, oh, he's a center. No, folks, he was playing tackle in college.
Yeah.
Pooney playing tackle in college. It's like, do we have a guy on our roster that actually played guard in college? Like maybe Ben Barch?
Ben Barch, I think Drake Nugent.
Yeah, Drake Nugent. He was. I think he was the guard and then he played center.
Center, yeah.
So
he's you know what? He's been under the radar all year. Could he, make a push for the center position in OTAs and training camp?
I think now about mid-season-ish last year, we signed a guy, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Matt Hennessy.
Yeah.
And he was in Atlanta, I think a year before Drew Dahlman showed up, but then Drew Dahlman showed up and eventually beat him out.
Yeah.
So, but the dude's a center, So now we got Hennessy, we still have Brendel for, whatever reason there is. We have Hennessy, we have Nugent, we have Zakelj, who's, I guess played snaps at center, right?
Mm-hmm.
In practice and whatnot, folks.
He has. They've been trying to.
We got four guys. You know, I say let him go at it for the one starting spot. That's what I say.
Well, that's what OTAs and camp is for, right? To have that
Mhm.
competition. And you have a question mark, an alleged question mark at the position, right? Because we think it's a question mark.
I don't think there's an alleged in it. I think he's just a
You
question
think it's
mark.
a pure question mark? Hey, okay, that's fine. That's fine. A pure question mark at center. But we know we definitely need an upgrade. We'll say that for sure.
Yes.
I'm with you. Let these guys go at it. Let them all just go at it and see which one is the best one for the job. Right? I mean,
Yes.
at this point, like I said, good enough just isn't cutting it anymore.
I mean, if we don't end up with a guy in the draft, which I'm seriously doubting, you know, we know how the 49ers think. That 11 pick, what edge or defensive tackle is going to fall, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just being honest, and honestly, look at the team right now. You know, the interior hasn't quite been gutted because we did sign Kevin Givens. He was having a great season before he got hurt.
He did.
You know, we have Evan Anderson, who did some serious ascending from getting cut on the practice squad to getting more snaps as the season ended, right?
Yep.
And we got Kalia Davis, which you know he's not bad, but he's not good.
He's more of a rotational guy.
That's exactly it. And then you got another guy, Jordan Elliott, too, which I thought he would be a better run stuffer than he ended up being for us.
Yeah. Yeah. We thought he'd be more of a plugger in there and didn't work out.
I mean, those right now are the four guys we have on the interior.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just kind of, you know, camp bodies at this point.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
would you be surprised to see them draft 2 interior defensive linemen? I think they're taking at least 2 defensive linemen in this draft.
Not at all. Because when you look at it, I mean, when you weigh the scale of like defensive line versus offensive line, it's heavily weighted in the defensive line being the weaker of the positions, in my opinion, just because we lack people. At least the O-line has some experience, guys who have been here. I mean, left guard's a question. We don't know who will be there. But across the line, otherwise, these guys have played and helped us win. D-line is just holes. There are holes there.
There's definite. You know, they let go of Leonard Floyd, which a lot of people were like, oh, he's not doing. He had 8.5 sacks. He didn't have a bad season.
Yeah.
But if you watch the tape, and like I said on X, since 2022, I've had NFL Plus, and I've watched all the games multiple times, no matter how painful. And he was more like effort. A lot of his sacks, like
that's where most of his sacks come from. Really,
he wasn't doing anything incredible there. Coverage sacks, effort sacks.
That's where a lot of his sacks come from because he's just a high motor, high effort guy. Like he'll chase you down. So, you know, and it equals 8.5 to 10 sacks a season. It works for him. You need that. The problem is, I think we just overplayed him. We tried to have him as a 3-down defensive end lineman, you know, during games, and that's not who he is.
No, he's a situational pass rusher.
Situational guy. Yeah, exactly. You bring him in 2nd and long, 3rd and long, tell him to go get after the quarterback, then he could be effective. I
mean, our
having him out there on 1st down ain't it.
So our current edge group, we got Nick Bosa, we got Yetur Gross-Matos, which I love his first name, Yetur. You know, it's like, then you got who else? Sam. You got Sam
Okinawa. Yeah.
Yep. And Robert Beal Jr. He's still on the squad, right?
Yeah.
Although I think he's kind of on the bubble at this point because he hasn't.
Maybe if he doesn't show, if he doesn't show anything, this, you know, OTAs and such.
Yeah,
we can easily see him getting cut.
We still have Drake Jackson on the roster, although
he's still there. Although reports are that knee is not responding.
Yeah, so his career might be over.
Yeah, And for a guy that needs to generate torque, bend the edge, get low, not a good sign for him.
No,
You
it's
know,
not.
he needs to be explosive off that thing. And if you can't be explosive, you can't, bend.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work, unfortunately.
I mean, he did show flashes, like big flashes, but then all of a sudden
Yeah.
he's showing nothing the next game. It was kind of,
Mm-hmm.
he was very inconsistent.
Yeah.
But, he is technically still on the team. We'll just have to keep an eye on that situation and, see what happens.
Exactly.
But so basically, interior defensive lineman, edge.
Yeah.
I look at it like maybe I think offensive lineman. It depends on who's there and when we're picking. Like I'm convinced that one of these guys in front of us is taking Membo.
Well, it can easily happen.
Will Campbell actually like athletically tested very well, although he has short arms. Not quite Gator, but pretty close, right?
Yeah. The
And
short arms thing always makes me laugh.
That's why I always say Gator or a T-Rex. The thing about a T-Rex and a Gator, folks, is they're still predators. Mm-hmm. They'll still get their prey. Even though their arms are short, they still get their prey. But I mean, like Kelvin Banks Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he falls.
I think he will. I haven't heard people talking about him at all. I think for some reason his stock is just falling. So I think he'll be there at 11, way after 11.
I just hope that one of these teams goes nuts and trades up and gets Jackson Dart and lets that's another player falling to us, and there's always going to be a team or two that reaches on a guy. So
yeah, there's a quarterback needy team out there.
If that happens 2 or 3 times, then the Niners are gonna have a serious dilemma going on at 11.
Or they can take the guy they want. Like Membo. If Membo is there, and maybe they have a discussion with Trent Williams, right? And they're like, Trent, what's your long-term plans? What you want to do? And Trent's like, hey, this is my last year. I'm gonna play this one out. Play the contract out, and I'm done. And if Membo's there, they might be thinking what you said earlier. Let's grab him,
yes,
play him at left guard next to Trent so he can learn as much as possible, gear up. And then for 2026, we slide him outside. And he's our left tackle of the future. I think that is the ideal situation. Like I can easily see that happening, and I wouldn't be mad at that.
Hold on, Kenny. What are you talking about? Sam Darnold? What the? Oh,
Sam Darnold. I don't care if it was for half a season, 5 years. Ain't nobody scared of Sam Darnold.
That's exactly it. Our division now. Our division, the guys. The teams might have gotten better in free agency, but typically the big time contracts and like how often do they actually work out and they live up to that contract? Well,
you say a team got better in free agency, but did they really?
That's exactly.
You signed a few guys, but you still got holes.
The Rams got
what
Devontae Adams, an aging Devontae Adams, right?
It could still be effective.
And they traded away one of their starting offensive linemen.
And that's the key, right? They got to get rid of. They got rid of O-line, so now they got to worry about protecting Stafford, who took some hits last year.
Yes, but and then they got rid of the Cup. So the Cup is a Seahawk though, so there still is a chance that he'll hit us in the face. But with Sam Darnold at QB, it just ain't going to be that bad.
No.
Not going to have that musty smell stuck in our nose or anything like that.
No, and he's not the player he once was.
That's true. That's true.
Talk about injuries taking a toll on the guy. They took a toll on him, and he's taking a nosedive. It's been steep the past 2 seasons. Like that Triple Crown year seems like so long ago. He's come nowhere near that.
Now, Jason, I believe Puna Ford is kind of a player swap because I think they lost a guy in free agency from that interior defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
him
too.
and Puna Ford, what was his name? Something Brown the third.
I don't know.
I don't pay terrible amount of attention to the Rams and the who their players are. But I know that they lost an interior defensive lineman who was a starter. And they just replaced him with Puna Ford.
Yeah.
And, it's like tit for tat. It's pretty much you're bringing in a player that was doing the same thing the other guy was.
Yeah. It's like lose and replace. It's
Exactly.
Same thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And, I mean, it's just, it's crazy. Like, I've seen so many people starting to come around with, hold up. Is it really time to panic? Like, the Niners aren't actually rebuilding. It's like, oh, you guys are finally realizing this. Like, Hufanga had a good year. Most of the time he's not there though. So again, need availability is an ability, right?
Yeah.
Greenlaw, hell of a player. I think replacing him might be tough, but we got to do it now.
Yeah.
And honestly,
we just went through a whole season without him.
We did, and he's missed like 36 games in 6 seasons.
Yeah,
grand total. So I added it all up.
Yeah, it's not like we aren't prepared for it.
Yes,
because we just went through a whole season without him.
Yeah,
and we've identified a young player that can play alongside of Fred. Right? Maybe he takes a step up or whatever, or maybe we identify someone else that could play along Fred. Like it's Tatum Bethune, a guy who can play along Fred and fill that role. Or is there someone in the draft? Like there's a lot of good 4-year, 5-year linebackers in the draft coming out maybe we can draft. Exactly. That maybe we can draft and can fill that place, right? And Bethune, they won't be at Dre's level, but you don't have to be. You just need to be able to play along Fred and complement him. And if you can do that, we're on to something.
That's true. If D Winters by some miracle can stay, that miracle is my word of the day, folks, can stay healthy, okay? Because he was always getting dinged up every game.
That's
he was
a big problem.
Yep,
that was a big problem.
If he can stay healthy, then there's our guy.
Yep.
Bethune, we did see an uptick when he came back from injury. We saw an uptick in snaps he was getting. So they're trying to ease him and onto the field. So we have guys on the roster that we did re-sign Robinson, right? Curtis Robinson. Although I think he's rehabbing his knee injury right now.
He should be fully healthy by at least training camp. That's somewhere near, because he hurt himself in preseason. Was it the second game? Like first or second game? So he should be ready to go. But yeah, we did re-sign him to a 1-year deal, and he was having a good camp, good preseason. We was really shocked when he got hurt. It hurt. So, but maybe he's the guy.
Well, yeah, and Salah's an ex-linebackers coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to work with the guys that we already have on the roster.
Exactly, and I think that's the biggest key right there. We know he can work miracles with the front seven. We know that's his MO. So the same way he took a young Dre Greenlaw and molded him and got him on the field and got him ready, he can take one of these young guys. Well, he did it with a young Fred Warner too, right? Got them both on the field and ready to be what they are. He can definitely do that with someone else. Papa J, what's up, buddy?
Oh, it's fun. I've had people messing with me for days, Ty, off
Tommy.
subject. like today it was my boss. You know, I was telling him,
Yeah.
hey, we need some hydraulic fluid. Like, you know, this section is literally just drank it. It's gone. And he's like, well, and you know, I'm in a group chat with the assistant plant manager and the plant manager. Those are my direct bosses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the one dude goes, well, like, can you salvage? Can you like salvage any of it whatsoever? And the way he sent it, I was like, he's messing with me. You know, and then a few minutes later, here comes the plant manager. About what percentage would you say is left in the bucket? So I'm all laughing. Oh, but like before that, this girl I was dating, like I think her mom saw me at Walmart. I saw her. I know I saw her. She probably saw me, and she texted me an hour later. Who's the girl? You want to hear my response?
Yeah.
Mila Kunis does look totally different without makeup. You know, it's just, it seems to be one of those weekends into the week. I think it's a theme that's going to keep going, but you know, it keeps things interesting.
Yeah.
Right. but yeah, I mean, you know, we're talking about the holes on the defense. Now, Kenny, I don't know if we have a lot of holes. He's talking Jihad Campbell. I don't know about guys named Campbell. I'm just kidding. He's a different guy, you know.
Yeah, totally different.
And we don't know. I don't know what they're looking at with that first overall pick. Could they pick a corner that is just going to shut everyone down? I've seen them mock corners, but have we ever seen them take a defensive back in the first round?
Not this regime.
No, I haven't seen
Not this regime. You know, they're all about the fronts. So,
and then you know we look, if you dive deep into that, I think the highest drafted defensive back they've taken is Renardo Green.
Really?
I've looked. I've looked.
Okay, I can believe that because I'm looking at the other guys. They've been low.
These are all third round picks.
Yeah.
You know, so Renardo Green is the highest drafted defensive back. I do not see them taking a corner at 11.
No, not at all. I think because of the need, and once again, the need is the biggest need on the team is the trenches.
Yes.
We don't know what side of the football it's going to be on, but it's got to be it, especially with the quality that you have there, right? Like we've spent these drafts kind of ignoring it, kind of trying guys, but this is the one that we should not ignore it because we have a golden opportunity to get a player of quality that can possibly be a first year starter or definitely a second year starter and a starter for years to come. So it needs to be addressed.
No, Kenny, I'm not cruising at Walmart. Okay. I was getting a toothbrush and a couple other things. It was funny, as a Walmart I normally don't get to because it was my sister's birthday Saturday. So I had to run and I had to run to the bank and grab some cash. And by the time I actually got going, I had to go to one that was in a store. And it happened to be that Walmart over there, you know, by where the lady I'm dating lives. So
okay.
Only reason I was even in there. That's the funny part about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, so yes, trenches are in my opinion, are the biggest need. How many picks will we spend on the trenches? Who knows? We have 11.
Yeah, 11.
And I'm of the opinion that we might end up with 7-8 players because of trade ups and everything else that's going to happen. You never know what they're thinking. Remember last year, they traded a lot of those picks and they traded up because it was like John Lynch felt like past the fourth round, you're not, you know, it's going to be scarce. I can't remember the exact words John Lynch said, but he pretty much said, once you hit this point, you know, that we really don't think there's going to be much. And then they traded up. They got Garendo. You know, they picked Cowan. They picked Mustafa. And, you know, we already had Pooney, Renardo Green, and Purcell at that point. And then, you go down, kick down the road a little bit. Jared Kingston, who's still a Carolina Panther.
Yep.
And we drafted Tatum Bethune, who could be, he could be our Sam linebacker.
Yeah.
Now, and let's go through this, folks. Sam, Will, and Mike. I don't think we have a linebacker named Sam, Will, and Mike, so we're going to call them middle, strong, and weak side. This is what we're going to do, folks. Sorry, it's just
Mm-hmm.
Football
humor.
Now I understood what Sam, Will, and Mike meant. That's not the problem. It's like, why'd you guys start calling them that? And it's on the field. Like on the field, they communicate with each other. Yeah. And it's a quicker way to communicate because you're not having to say strong side or weak side or middle. You say Sam, Will, or Mike.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense, but
it's football terminology. That's the way it goes.
Left side.
Ain't no left side. Oh, remember the Titans. I got you. Strong side. I get the reference. Yeah. But yeah, when's the draft? What's the date?
I believe it's April 24th through 26th this year.
Oh man, we still got a whole month to go.
I know. I think I'm going to make up to like mock draft 11 or 12 maybe this year.
Okay.
Which is 4 more than last year, because we missed the playoffs. So,
You got more time.
I did. I even skipped a week or two. It could be worse. I decided to start it on my birthday. So I did. I skipped a couple of weeks there.
All right.
But yeah, there's still feasible free agents on the market. Like that guy, like that guy that signed with the Giants, the guy I was thinking about. Yeah, he's decent. He got 6 sacks in I think 10 games. Yeah. So when he's on the field, he's a beast. It's just he's not on the field the whole season.
Got to get on the field, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they'll sign anyone else until after the draft. To be honest with you. I think they're going to wait for that second wave, that after draft. Yeah. And fill whatever holes, whatever needs they have then. When, that's when you get guys normally a little bit cheaper because teams already filled. So guys are taking lesser deals. It works out financially for the organization. And SBC might do some things.
Yeah, yes, Tommy. He's signing with the Beagles, but like I was telling Ty, 29 out of 51 games the last 3 years. So pretty much he's going to be gone 6-7 games. Is what that teaches you.
And he's a situational guy, also, right? He doesn't stay on the field all 3 downs.
5 text messages. Holy moly!
Popular guy.
I guess.
Yeah.
The question is, how many of them are people messing with me? Because that seems to be the theme right now.
That's the theme of the day.
And it was the theme of the weekend. It's like, but yeah, it's just that time of year, folks. So hurry up and wait. We might sign a guy or two, but it's not going to be a world beater. John Lynch has pulled off trades that we never seen coming.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't mind pulling off draft day trades, right? Draft weekend trades, I should say. Whether to move up, move down, move a player away. So that may be a time that he gets real busy. You never know.
And that really might be, I'm of the opinion that we have 11 draft picks, and I just don't see us picking 11 players.
But we need to pick 11 because we need the depth.
That could be.
We
did sign a bunch of guys. Well, a lot of the veterans that we've signed are for special teams and / depth.
Yeah. I think they're
Like
just more
that
special
Trey
teams,
Brown,
really.
the Trey Brown, the corner we signed, he's actually
Yeah.
not bad. He's not bad.
Yeah. And
You know?
we need corners.
And we've never really seen Luter Jr. on the field a lot, other than, you know, maybe he shouldn't be the guy back there on special teams. Maybe he should be the guy on the front line. You know, I'm just saying that because the 2 incidents, you know, it bouncing off his foot.
I know.
Didn't he get pushed into one at one point too? I think those are the 2 incidents.
I think the one last year he got pushed into. Yeah.
Yep. So maybe just don't put Luter Jr. on that second.
I know.
Keep him up front. Keep him up. And I don't know. I mean, our team. A lot of people are like, "Oh, we're in flux." I don't think so. Core is still in place.
And that's the truth of it, right? The core is still there. If you think about everyone who's not here anymore, it's like guys that were injured, guys that were simply on 1 or 2 year contracts, guys whose contracts were up, so they had the freedom to go.
Yep.
Or guys who were just like older and maybe
injured,
needed to go.
Injured, not not on the field a lot.
Exactly.
Maybe underperformed.
Underperformed as well. So it's guys that we don't mind being without them, and guys who we've already played without. You know what I mean? So the struggle is not that bad because we already have the experience. We already know what it means to play without Huff. We already know what it means to play without Dre. Can we use Dre? Of course, but we know what it means to play without him. Aaron Banks leaves. We know what it means to play without him.
Yep.
You know? So it is what it is. Like Mooney Ward leaves. We know what it means to play without him.
Yeah, that's actually I think that's the whole reason they drafted Renardo Green. You know,
we know what it means. Yeah, I think they were Green. Yeah, because I figured they wouldn't. We don't pay 2 corners. Like we normally don't give a big contract to a corner, and we definitely aren't paying 2 at the same time. So the writing was on the wall there. As much as I know they love him, they like him, respect his professionalism and everything, I don't think we would have resigned him, especially since he was going to get like a big contract from somebody else anyway. But that's part of planning early and drafting the guy, you know, drafting the replacement the year before.
Yes. I mean, if you think about Ward, you know, he got paid from us, played his contract out. And as of right now, he signed a 3-year, $60 million contract. So he got 2 paydays out of his NFL career. He's doing pretty good.
Which is good, which most guys do get. If you're playing well, you'll get a 2nd and a 3rd contract. So more power to him.
Yes. I don't know. Tommy Huxley says he's very okay with Luter starting. We don't know what's going to happen there. Camp hasn't started. So as of right now, it's actually looking like it's going to be Green and Lenoir on the outside with maybe Brown playing nickel. That's kind of what it's looking like.
Which I wouldn't mind that. I've said it before. Like, I would really love to get a dedicated nickel. As good as Lenoir is bumping inside, I think his value is much greater being on the outside, being that lockdown guy out there, you know, taking the team's number 1, or just being on his side, put him out there. And if we could get a dedicated nickel that leaves him out there so he can focus on that one job, he will be even better. And Tommy says, yes, he wants to play nickel because he's just a football player. He's a dog. He wants to be up there and rise to the challenge. But think how much better the defense and how much more effective it'll be with him just being out there all the time.
That's
It'd
true.
just be dope. Yeah.
That's true. And yes, I think Demo does. I honestly think he likes playing nickel for one reason: the run defense coverage.
Yeah, he gets to get a little
he's
dirty.
able to run up and hit someone.
He gets to, exactly, and he loves to hit. He loves being physical. He loves getting in the backfield and taking a guy down and being, doing all the dirty stuff. He actually enjoys it, which is great. That's the kind of guy you want on the football field, making plays for you. But I'm just thinking from a scheme element and to protect the back end, like, leave that dude out there.
Yes.
We've seen him be, hard to get a completion against. He plays the ball in the air well. He plays good defense well, man coverage. Like, leave him out there. That's one less thing to worry about.
Ooh. Well, so that safety we signed from Atlanta, his name escapes me a little bit.
Wasn't that the
but a lot of people are like, oh, they just signed him for special teams. So we have Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa, who both play the same position. I think this guy was signed to be the free safety because he is, in fact, a free safety. And that's kind of something like we had Jack Williams Tart, and yes, folks, everyone remembers the dropped interception. You don't have to talk about it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We had him, and then we had Hufanga and Jimmy Ward back there. Jimmy Ward was kind of an all-purpose defensive back, though.
He was more of he was more of a strong safety in the nickel.
Yes,
he was never really a free.
It just seems like we've always had a couple strong safeties. That's it.
Yeah, we've always had like two strong safeties back there. We've never had a true free safety. A guy with range, sideline to sideline, who's a ball hawk, who can play the ball in the air well. I mean, just time it out and get a PBU. We've never really had that guy. And that's something the defense has always missed.
Kenny's saying he swore up and down Renardo Green and be a safety. We thought Cooper DeJean was going to be a safety.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was actually his position in the mock drafts when they would.
Yeah.
I believe that was his position. But, at this point, folks, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen in the draft. We don't know what kind of sneaky John moves or moves John moves. We should just call. I just coined it. I just coined it by accident.
John
we don't
moves.
know what kind of sneaky trades John moves is going to do.
They're John moves. Yep.
But you never know, right? We're not rebuilding. I'm not that guy. We're not rebuilding. We're not giving up on next season.
It's not a rebuild if you have a quarterback on your team who was an MVP candidate, an all-pro running back, all-pro tight end, an all-pro left tackle, a guard that made the all-rookie team, all-pro linebacker, all right, one of the best corners in the league, a fullback who was a Pro Bowler. Like, come on, does that sound like a rebuild if you got all that going on?
Defensive player of the year. Let's not forget about Bosa here.
I totally forgot about him. You know what I mean? Like you can't have all of that on your team. Plus, you brought in one of the best defensive coaches in the entire league, a very good special teams coach. You just brought him in. You can't be in a rebuild if you got all that going on.
Yep.
It's not a rebuild.
The one thing we're rebuilding is special teams, though. That's the one thing. That's the one thing
Well,
we're rebuilding. All these signings, a lot of these guys we brought in is for depth and special teams.
yeah.
And, you know, I thought Brian Snyder was going to come in and fix everything, but they didn't
No.
make the right moves. We let our best gunners go, Womack and
Yeah.
Gray. Last year we were literally 32nd in the league, I believe. I believe that was our end rank coverage unit.
You gotta learn how to coach kick coverage.
Yeah,
It's a very important part of the game. You know, it was rough to see us get a score, go up, and then next thing you know, we kick the ball off, and here they come running down the field. It was rough to see them running downfield, and our kicker has to make a tackle, and he gets injured.
we literally went through, I think, 3 kickers last year.
And then the next week it happens again. And the following week it would have happened again, but Mitch Wisnowski said, "Nope, I'm not doing it," and kind of winced out the way.
Yep.
Like 3 weeks in a row, you're in position to have your kickers have to make a tackle on special teams. That's not it.
That's not good.
It's not good at all.
It's not
good at all.
You know, with the new NFL rules on kickoffs, the kicker can't even go past the 50. So what's that saying?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. So you see how bad the unit was overall. So it's definitely time for a change.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, folks, we're getting out of here. That's our show for tonight. Appreciate you. Make sure you tune in next week where we will be on David's channel.
That's
So
right.
make sure you like, subscribe, go to his channel, spread the word. We'll be there talking more draft. We got to do a mock draft on your channel one week. Like, you got to run it. I don't know how to run it, so you got to run it.
Okay, that's fine.
We get this going on and try to play out a scenario, you know, some of the things we've talked about. I think that'll be cool. All right.
Right.
What else you got going on for the rest of the week? Let the people know.
Well, you know, we got Corey Davis 49er Wednesday. And, of course, the mock draft series, episode 7, happening on Saturday.
Nice.
So it's kind of a yet to be seen who's going to be 49ers GM. But I did it the first couple of weeks. Maybe I'll do it the last week of the year, just myself. But, you know, tune in to see who pulls up to be GM.
There you go. There you go. Tune in. All right. I'll be back tomorrow night. What is it? 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern with Mariah doing the show. So make sure you come through. Thanks everybody for coming. As always, stay faithful. David, take us home, please.
Hey, as Corey Davis says, go 49ers and F all 31 other teams. East Coast Red and Gold, Wednesday,
8 p.m. Eastern. That's right. Thank you, sir. Wayne Breezy's going to be on. So make sure you hang out with us then. It's going to be fun. All right, everybody.
You guys get the fancy guests.
Hey, Jess is a miracle worker, you know. See you, everybody.